and welcome. The month of January is a time for setting goals and talking about them. So in this lesson, I'm going to show you a couple of language structures that you can use to talk about New Year's resolutions in Romanian. But first, let's have a look at the word resolution, as we have a serious language debate going on in Romanian regarding its translation as rezoluție or rezoluții in the plural. In Romanian, the word rezoluție is mainly used to refer to an official decision that is made after a group or organization has voted. When referring to someone's goals for the new year, we have words like obiectiv or obiective in the plural, cel or celuri in the plural that we can use in this regard. But the syntagm rezoluții de anul nou is very popular nowadays, quite trendy, and since semantic loans happen all the time within a language, this new meaning of the word rezoluție, due to its widespread use, will probably be considered for dictionary inclusion at some point. But for now, because rezoluții de anul nou is, as far as I know, not an official syntagm in Romanian, I'm going to stick to the word obiectiv / obiective. Okay, now let's get back to the various possibilities that Romanian offers you to talk about your New Year's resolutions. The first means I want to talk about is using the subjunctive present. So, if you start your sentence with a structure like obiectivele mele pentru anul 2024 sunt, and here you want to list a couple of actions, the verbs expressing those actions will be used in the subjunctive mood. And let me give you some examples. So, one more time from the beginning. Obiectivele mele pentru anul 2024 sunt să petrec mai mult timp cu familia, să fac sport, să mănânc mai sănătos, să găsesc timp pentru pasiunile mele, să citesc în fiecare zi. Now let's talk a bit about the subjunctive mood and how we form it. And I'm only going to refer to the first person singular because that is the person you use to talk about yourself. So in the first person singular, the subjunctive basically has the same form as the indicative present. And if you know how to build the present tense of the indicative, you also know how to build the subjunctive present. Let's have a look at some examples. And here I'm going to show you the forms for the indicative and the forms for the subjunctive. Eu învăț o limbă străină. Eu îmi doresc să învăț o limbă străină. Eu călătoresc mult. Eu vreau să călătoresc mult. Eu gătesc sănătos. Eu îmi propun să gătesc sănătos. By the way, just a side note, in Romanian we don't use subject pronouns all the time. We actually only use them to lay emphasis on the subject. But I'm usually using them in my examples so that you guys can associate the verbal form with the person it actually refers to. The context usually makes it clear who's talking, and the verb also has different forms for the different persons. So that's why we don't necessarily use subject pronouns unless we want to emphasize something. So back to our examples, as you can see, the only difference between the two verbal forms is the conjunction să that appears in case of the subjunctive. An exception is the verb a fi, which is irregular and has the form să fiu in the first person singular of the subjunctive. For example, eu sunt un om responsabil. Eu încerc să fiu un om responsabil. And here's a list of verbs that you can use to talk about your resolutions and that are followed by the subjunctive mood. A vrea. Eu vreau să. A încerca. Eu încerc să. Aș propune. Eu îmi propun să. Aș dori. Eu îmi doresc să. A plănui. Eu plănuiesc să. A intenționa. Eu intenționez să. Another way of talking about changes for the better is by using the comparative degree of the adjective or of the adverb. And here are some examples. În 2024 îmi propun să am o dietă mai sănătoasă. Să fiu o persoană mai activă. În 2024 îmi propun să mănânc mai sănătos. Să alerg mai des. When establishing goals or targets that are meant to improve something about the past year, we can use the comparative degree of superiority in Romanian, which is simply formed by adding the adverb mai in front of the adjective or adverb. Another way of talking about your future intentions or plans is by using the indicative future tense. For example, anul acesta voi avea mai multă grijă de sănătatea mea. Voi călători mai des. Voi citi mai multe cărți. Voi fi mai disciplinat. Voi dormi mai mult. There are actually 3 ways of forming the future tense in Romanian, and I'm only going to refer to the first person singular, so the one that is illustrated in the examples is built with the help of the auxiliary form voi and the infinitive form of the verb without the particle a. Alrighty, that's about it for now. I really hope you enjoyed watching this video and that you learned something new. As always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Be happy! Be happy! Ba, ba, ba.